Did the coronavirus originate in a Wuhan laboratory, and did China cover up the fact that it leaked from there, allowing it to spread around the world and kill countless people while simultaneously crippling the global economy? In short, has there been a massive cover-up? Now, according to reports today, the answer is yes, and I don't think that's a massive shock to people, is it? Wuhan is where the virus originated. We were told that it was just an unhappy coincidence that there happened to be a laboratory there that specialised in testing coronaviruses and other deadly diseases. We were expected to just ignore that and swallow the line that the virus emerged from a wet market. We were honestly expected to believe the Chinese government, which as a rule you should never believe to begin with, had actually very innocently made a mistake. An investigation has unearthed a pattern of incredibly suspicious behaviour by the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and by extension, the Chinese government. Databases containing 22,000 viruses were taken offline in September the 12th, 2019, 3 months before China officially warned the world about the virus. And on the very same day, the Wuhan Institute of Virology ramped up security at their lab, replaced their air ventilation systems and purchased a new medical waste incinerator. 2 months later, in November, the lab also purchased a new PCR testing machine, so it's a bit of kit that we've all come to know and hate. Then, of course, there was mass sterilisation cleaning of the lab and a lockdown in October 2019. Roadblocks are reported to have been erected around the lab, and there was a blackout of mobile phone data around the facility. So it's all pretty suspect stuff, isn't it? And then let's couple that with the equally suspicious behaviour of the scientific community, or some elements of the scientific community. The very people who are supposed to deal in straight fact, the people who we are supposed to trust. In the wake of the pandemic, The Lancet, arguably the world's most respected scientific journal, published an article rubbishing the lab leak theory, which put it to bed for a while. Well, it emerged that 26 of the 27 scientists who wrote that article apparently had links to Chinese researchers, the Wuhan lab itself, and indeed its funding streams. They didn't declare this at the time, of course. Why would you? We haven't got time to go through every single one of those, but one example was that the letter was orchestrated by British zoologist Peter Daszak, president of the US-based Eco-Health Alliance, which funded research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And then let's have a look at who's in charge of the WHO, which went out of its way, of course, to rubbish a lab leak theory, and published a tweet that's still online, by the way, in January 2020, which says this: preliminary investigations conducted by the Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of the novel coronavirus identified in Wuhan. That's not aged particularly well, has it? Anyway, Tedros Adhanom is the former Minister for Foreign Affairs in Ethiopia, a country whose economy has received billions from the Chinese government. I think we have to ask ourselves, what's more likely? Is it more likely that coronavirus originated from a bat at a wet market that just happened to be down the road from a facility that was testing coronaviruses on bats? The Chinese government was simply not aware of it, despite obviously being very much aware of it, and several leading scientists who just coincidentally had links to the Wuhan lab innocently published an article clearing the Chinese government of all blame. Or did it simply leak from a lab and China trying to cover it up with devastating consequences? We all have to make our own minds up about this, don't we? But I know where I stand, and I think China has to pay.